What if the stiffness in your knees, the swelling in your ankles, and the ache that settles deep into your legs at the end of the day wasn't just age? What if it was your body whispering for something it's missing? Something simple, something ancient, something nourishing? You've likely heard people say, "It's just part of getting older." And maybe you've said it too. But deep down, I want you to wonder with me for a moment. What if it's not just the passing years? What if your body is quietly calling out for the building blocks it no longer makes on its own? When I sit down with patients, many in their 60s, 70s, and beyond, I see the same weariness in their eyes. It's not just physical. It's the exhaustion of not feeling like yourself anymore, of waking up and not being able to trust your own legs, of planning your day around the next time you can sit down. There's a heaviness in that, a grief that's hard to put into words, because it feels like something's being taken from you and no one tells you how to get it back. Let me tell you about someone I'll never forget. Joe, a retired mechanic, 68 years old, big hands, rough from years of work, but a gentle heart. He came into my office one afternoon and sat down with a sigh that seemed to come from his bones. He told me he missed walking his dog, missed the way he used to get up in the morning and just move, without thinking, without wincing. Now, he said, it felt like his knees were filled with sandbags. His ankles swelled like clockwork every night. He'd tried creams, he'd taken pills, he even tried one of those vibrating foot pads he saw on late-night TV. But nothing really changed, and somewhere along the line, he started to believe maybe this was just how life would be now, smaller, slower, more painful. But I didn't start Joe on another round of anti-inflammatory meds. I didn't send him to a specialist. Instead, I asked him what he had for dinner the night before. He looked confused, maybe even a little embarrassed. "Some toast and tea," he said. I nodded gently, because here's the truth. Most of us have never been taught how to feed our joints. We feed our hunger, we feed our cravings, but very few of us ever think about feeding our connective tissue, our cartilage, our collagen. And that's where I told Joe we'd begin, not with something radical or expensive, but with a few deeply nourishing foods, ones his body had been quietly longing for all along. See, most people don't know this, but collagen is the silent hero of your joints. It's the framework, the scaffolding, the cushion that holds you together. It keeps your ligaments stretchy, your cartilage smooth, and your bones gliding past each other instead of grinding. In your younger years, your body makes collagen easily, like a well-oiled factory. But by the time you're in your 50s or 60s, that production line slows down. The collagen you do make is thinner, weaker, less structured, and slowly, the cushioning starts to wear away. Swelling sneaks in. Stiffness settles like sediment. You don't notice it at first. A little ache here, a little tightness there, until one day, you wake up and realize your joints feel older than you are. It's not just the lack of collagen, it's what that absence allows. Without that sturdy framework, inflammation gets louder. The tissue around your joints holds onto fluid like a sponge, but instead of protecting you, it weighs you down. Think of it like this: your joints are shock absorbers. But if the padding between them wears out, every step feels heavier. Every bend, every stretch, every movement becomes a negotiation. And here's the most hopeful part of all this. That process isn't permanent. It's not irreversible. Because your body, bless it, is always ready to rebuild, even now. But it needs the raw materials. And collagen isn't something you can wish into existence. You have to eat it. You have to feed it. You have to support the intricate symphony of nutrients that allow your body to produce it again. That's what I began to teach Joe, and that's what I want to share with you now. Let's start with a humble, old-world healer, bone broth. I know it sounds simple, maybe even quaint, but don't underestimate it. Bone broth is rich in collagen, gelatin, glycine, and minerals that your joints are quietly starving for. When made properly, slow-simmered from bones, cartilage, and connective tissue, it becomes liquid gold for your ligaments. I often describe it as drinking scaffolding. it slips into your cells and begins to repair. A cup a day, especially in the evening, is like wrapping your joints in warmth from the inside. Joe was skeptical at first, but within a week of sipping bone broth daily, the pain in his ankles began to feel quieter, not gone, but softer. And that softness, that little bit of relief, became a gateway to hope. Next, I asked Joe to bring something unexpected back to his plate: salmon with the skin on. You see, the skin of salmon contains a concentrated source of marine collagen, different but complementary to the type found in beef or chicken. It also provides omega-3 fatty acids, which are natural anti-inflammatories. They soothe the fires burning in your joints, reduce swelling, and protect your cartilage from further breakdown. It's not just fish, it's medicine wrapped in flavor. Joe hadn't cooked salmon in years. He thought it was fancy food, but I gave him a simple recipe: salt, pepper, a little olive oil, 10 minutes in the oven. And just like that, nourishment returned to his table. Eggs were next, not just the whites but the yolks too. They're rich in biotin, sulfur, and the amino acids needed to build collagen from scratch. Even better? If you can find eggs that still have a bit of that thin membrane attached to the inside of the shell, well, that membrane is a hidden treasure of collagen. I remember the surprise in Joe's voice when he said, "I've been eating eggs for years, but I never knew they were good for my knees." That's the tragedy and the beauty of nutrition. So much healing has been sitting right there on our plates, unnoticed. Chicken thighs followed, especially with the skin left on. Now, I know skin gets a bad rap, especially after years of low-fat everything. But that soft, flavorful layer is a natural source of collagen and healthy fats. It's connective tissue, right from the source. Slow-cooked chicken, roasted until the skin crisps and the meat falls apart. This isn't indulgence. This is therapy. Joe started making a pot of chicken stew every Sunday. He said it made his house smell like the one he grew up in. That kind of memory, that kind of nourishment, it heals more than just the joints. And then we added citrus: oranges, lemons, limes, bright little bursts of vitamin C. You see, your body can't turn protein into collagen without vitamin C. It's the spark, the activator. Without it, all the bone broth and salmon in the world won't rebuild your tissue, but just a squeeze of lemon into your water or a few slices of orange after lunch, that's enough to keep the process humming. I told Joe to start each day with warm water, lemon, and a pinch of sea salt, not just for his joints, but for his energy, his digestion, his clarity. He didn't miss a single morning. By now, Joe was beginning to feel different. Not cured, not 10 years younger, but looser, lighter. He told me one day, "I walked to the mailbox without thinking about it." That might not sound like much, but to him, it was everything. Movement, returned, freedom, restored. The path was working, and that's where we'll pause, for now, because we've only scratched the surface. The second half of this journey brings even more unexpected foods, more healing stories, and the missing links that complete the picture. But even now, just with these few shifts, you can feel the possibilities opening. Your joints are not destined to crumble. Your legs do not have to ache endlessly. The answers are not far away. They're in your kitchen, they're in your hands, and your body, tired as it may be, is still ready to heal. The next step I guided Joe through wasn't another supplement or fancy powder, but something as simple and small as a handful of berries. Blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, tiny, vivid miracles of nature. These fruits are rich in polyphenols, powerful compounds that protect your body's own collagen from breaking down. Think of them as little shields, defending your joints from the invisible wear and tear of time. Beyond their antioxidants, berries also help reduce systemic inflammation, calming the immune system's overreaction that so often leads to swelling in the knees, ankles, and feet. Joe began keeping a bowl of mixed berries in his fridge, reaching for them instead of processed snacks. He told me one afternoon, almost shyly, that it became his favorite part of the day. "They taste like a treat," he said, "but they feel like medicine." I could see something shifting in him, not just in how he moved, but in how he spoke. The weariness was giving way to something more grounded. He was reclaiming ownership of his health, one bite at a time, and that quiet empowerment is what I want for you too. Because the foods that restore us don't demand perfection, they ask only for consistency and care. Pumpkin seeds were next. Easy to overlook, but incredibly potent. These small seeds are loaded with zinc, a mineral that's absolutely essential for collagen production. Without zinc, your body struggles to knit tissue together. Cuts heal slower, joints recover less fully, and you feel it as lingering soreness, prolonged inflammation, and a general sense of fragility. Zinc also supports your immune system, which plays a major role in how your body handles joint stress. Joe began adding pumpkin seeds to his morning oatmeal, tossing them into salads, even sprinkling them on roasted vegetables. "They're crunchy," he said with a smile, "and now I know they're doing something." Sometimes healing starts with a little crunch and a little knowledge. Then came the greens, dark, leafy, vibrant. Spinach, kale, chard, arugula. These vegetables are rich in vitamin K, magnesium, and antioxidants that support not just your joints, but your bones and blood vessels too. They reduce oxidative stress, help regulate calcium, and keep the lining of your joints healthy and supple. Many people don't realize that inflammation isn't just about joints. It's also about the surrounding tissues, the fascia, the tendons. Greens feed all of it. I told Joe to think of every leafy salad as a daily act of lubrication for his body. He started sautéing spinach with garlic at dinner, blending kale into smoothies, even trying those little microgreens on sandwiches. "It's weird," he said, "but I feel cleaner inside." That's not just in his head, that's real. That's the body responding. And just as important as the food we add is how we move our bodies in response to that nourishment. Because collagen isn't static, it responds to use. When you begin to feed your body what it needs, movement becomes less painful, and in turn, that movement signals the body to build even more collagen. It's a feedback loop, a beautiful cycle. Gentle walking, light stretching, swimming, or water aerobics, all of these low-impact exercises tell your joints, we're still alive, we're still using this body, keep repairing, keep rebuilding. I encourage Joe to start small, 10 minutes a day, just around the block. No pressure to perform, just the invitation to move. At first, he was hesitant. The fear of pain can be paralyzing, especially when you felt betrayed by your own knees for so long. But as the swelling eased and the aches dulled, something softened. He began walking after dinner, first alone, then with his dog again. And when he told me that the leash didn't feel like a burden anymore, I knew we'd turned a corner. Movement, of course, requires hydration. This is a detail that too many people overlook. Your joints are filled with fluid, synovial fluid specifically, that keeps them smooth and shock absorbent. Without enough water, this fluid thickens, becomes sticky, loses its ability to protect. Dehydration also worsens inflammation, increases joint stiffness, and slows down healing. It's not just about drinking enough, it's about being intentional. I told Joe to carry a water bottle, to flavor it with lemon or mint if it helped, to sip throughout the day. "It's funny," he said. "I thought I was drinking enough, but once I started paying attention, I realized how dry I'd been." Our bodies speak in whispers: dry eyes, tight skin, sluggish digestion. Hydration is the quiet key that unlocks them all. Then there's the nighttime part of healing, the one we rarely talk about enough. Rest. Not just lying in bed, but deep, restorative sleep. That's when the body does its heavy repair work. Collagen synthesis peaks during sleep. Tissues regenerate, inflammation quiets, hormones recalibrate. If your sleep is shallow, interrupted, or insufficient, your body can't do its job. It's like trying to repair a bridge while traffic is still flowing over it. I asked Joe about his sleep, and he admitted it hadn't been great. Waking up stiff, tossing and turning, sometimes unable to fall back asleep. So we worked on a routine. Less screen time at night, a calming tea, stretching before bed, no heavy meals late in the evening. Within 2 weeks, he noticed a difference. "I still wake up early," he said, "but I feel more rested, less achy." And that made everything else easier. What I want you to hear in Joe's story is that this journey isn't about extremes. It's not about becoming someone else. It's about returning to yourself, piece by piece, meal by meal, step by step. Your body hasn't given up on you. It's waiting for support. It's waiting for signals that it's safe to rebuild. Aging is inevitable, yes, but decline? Decline is not a foregone conclusion. There is so much power in nourishment, in every collagen-rich spoonful of broth, in every handful of seeds, in every single time you say, "I'm going to care for myself today." Your legs have carried you through so much: work, worry, love, loss. They've stood for others. They've run when it mattered. They've held more than you can measure. And now, they deserve to be supported, not with bandages or shortcuts, but with real, enduring care. Your joints aren't broken. They're undernourished. Your body isn't failing. It's calling out. And now you know how to answer. You don't have to overhaul your life. You don't need to cook 5 meals a day or become a nutrition expert. You simply need to begin. Add one thing: a cup of bone broth, a few slices of salmon, a salad of dark greens, a sprinkle of pumpkin seeds. This isn't about rushing toward a cure. It's about coming back to yourself, slowly, kindly, patiently. When Joe came in for a checkup 6 months later, I almost didn't recognize him. He stood taller, moved with more ease. But more than that, his voice was different, lighter, stronger. He told me he was volunteering again, helping fix bikes at the community center. "It feels good to use my hands again," he said, "to stand for a few hours and not hurt after." That, to me, is the full circle moment. Not just physical healing, but the return of meaning, of connection, of life. And so I leave you with this, not as a prescription, but as an invitation. Begin with one spoonful, one decision, one act of nourishment. Let food be the way you say yes to your body again. Let movement be the way you reconnect. Let rest be the way you renew. And above all, know that healing is possible, not by chasing youth, but by feeding strength, by listening, by trusting the quiet resilience inside you. This is Dr. Camilla Cruz, and if no one's told you today, your healing is not behind you. It's still possible. It's still waiting. And I'll be here, walking alongside you every step of the way. If this spoke to you, share it with someone you love, someone whose legs have carried them far, but whose heart is still searching for ease. Until next time, be well, stay nourished, and keep going. Your body is still listening.